Hey, thanks for meeting me here today. I know you're busy. There's just something I just wanted to talk to you about.
Of course. What's on your mind, Joshua?
Look, you're a really great platform, and
You're breaking up with me, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Gosh, it's that flirty word Twitter, isn't it? I've seen you two spending more time together. Not that I track your data outside of the app or anything,
No, I'm just...
So who then? TikTok? Am I not trendy enough for you? You want to sacrifice decades of consistency for some diaper-wearing brain dump born in 2016?
It's not another platform,
I know I'm not as hip as I used to be, but I'm only getting better. I can live stream, connect to your Instagram. I do VR now. Don't you want to be a part of the metaverse?
Well, truthfully,
Oh, don't get me started on truth. I have like a super robust anti-misinformation policy. Or wait, are you one of those freedom of speech guys? Because I totally support that too. I mean, as long as you don't say anything like...
No, I want something real.
I've got reels.
Oh my gosh.
I think we started
this is why we can't
them,
do
a few years ago.
You just don't understand me.
Look, you and I are a team. We can get through this. Just let me...
No, stop. We can't get through this. You act like you know what's best for me, but you don't even know me. You just trick me into thinking I'm happy when in reality I'm miserable. I'm tired of being miserable, dude.
Wow. So after 12 years, you really just feel like our connection is lost?
I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry.
Whatever. Guess I'll go annoy one of my other 2.7 billion users. So long, Zucker.
Oh, like Mark Zuckerberg, creator of Facebook. Got it. Yeah, nice. On October 23rd, 2022, I decided to delete my Facebook account, and this is the story of why. Before I begin, I want to make it clear that I don't hate Facebook, and I don't hate social media. I'm not trying to convince you that either of those things are inherently bad, and that you're morally obligated to go off the grid, live in a cave, and eat bugs for the rest of your life like I do. This is just a tale of why I personally decided to break up with social media, and if you can relate to it, great, and if you can't, that's probably even better, honestly. My relationship status with Facebook has always been complicated. Back in 2010, before 13-year-old me even knew what an online presence was, I was already skeptical of Facebook, and making an account was at the top of the list I vowed never ever to do in my entire life. But if you're thinking, wow Josh, you must have had incredible foresight to recognize the social and political death grip that an evil twisted corporation like Facebook would grow to have on the world, to that I say, no, I did not. I just thought Facebook was for girls. Posting pictures with my friends, sharing my feelings? What am I, a flippin' woman? There's no way I'd ever do something as effeminate as share my feelings online. You see, back in 8th grade, I was, and quite frankly I still am, what many would call an alpha male. And social media, that was for chicks. I had principles, dude, standards, and absolutely nothing would make me compromise my, hey Josh, you should make a Facebook so we can talk more. Haha, okay. So on October 23rd, 2010, my journey into the online world began. Yes, I abandoned my own morals because I wanted a girl to like me. Pretty epic, I know. Definitely not something I'd tried to other times to no avail with other girls on other platforms. And I know before I said social media was for girls, and although I still 100% stand by that blatantly sexist claim, after using Facebook for a few weeks, I will admit that sharing my life online was something I actually did enjoy doing. As a young boy who wouldn't get a cell phone until he turned 16, Facebook was a great way for me to virtually hang out with my friends and just goof around like we would at school. I'd share silly selfies, Pixar memes, encouraging things I'd learn at church. A piece of cheese? Why did I share this piece of cheese on July 23rd, 2011? Because I liked it, gosh darn it. Facebook was a place where I could be me and have fun alongside the people I loved. I'd made a rule when I started Facebook that I'd only add friends who I'd met in real life at least once. So the people on my friends list really was a reflection of the people in my real life, my community, and I loved it. But in 2015, a mere 5 years later, my life would begin to flounder. And I'm not talking about the cute flounder from The Little Mermaid, more like the other flounder from the other Little Mermaid. It was time for big adult Joshua to go off to college in the faraway land of Kirksville, Missouri, and as a consequence, I had to leave my beloved hometown community behind for the first time in my life. I've talked about this in other videos, but going away to school was a big deal for me, and one of my concerns was that the people I'd leave behind would feel as though I'd abandoned them in a way. I felt like, and I still do feel like, I owe everything I am to the people that I grew up with. I mean, I wouldn't be who I am without them, and I'm thankful for that because I'm a happy guy. And that's because of the people I've interacted with in my life. So I wanted to go explore new life, but I also wanted my old life to stay exactly as it was because I loved it. And like a light in a dark forest, I saw the solution peering out at me. Social media. I was already using social media to joke around with my friends, so that didn't need to stop just because I was moving away. All my friends from home could be right there with me like they'd always been. Forever. Well, as easy as a solution as that might sound, things got weird fairly quickly. Cause you see, when I used social media back home, it was to enhance my in-person conversations. The dialogues I had on Facebook were broken and scattered, and they could be, because any gaps left virtually could be filled in when I saw that person physically the next day. However, now that I was billions and billions of miles away from home, we just couldn't have the same kind of online dialogue. For example, when I was at home, I could post something on Facebook like, well, that was crazy, am I right, lol? And pretty much all my friends on Facebook would know what I was talking about. But if I posted that same sentiment while I was away at college, nobody would know what the heck I was talking about because they weren't there to experience that context with me anymore. So I now had to explain things on social media in ways that I hadn't had to do previously, and this made using Facebook less of a way to talk with people and more of a way to talk at them. These people, who I still loved very much, were no longer my community. They were still with me though, only now they were my audience. And that's better than just outright abandoning everyone, right? As someone who loves to entertain, or at least try to, this was totally fine. Sure, I couldn't really talk to these people in the same way that I could before, but I could still entertain them and pay respects to the community I was no longer a part of. So that's what I did. I quit casually posting things that would make sense if you knew me in the present, and primarily started posting about fun projects I did in school as a way to show my community that their previous investment in my life was paying off. The audience I'd acquired had paid for a ticket to my life by being my friend, and now I was giving them their show, apart from them, but together. However, using Facebook in this way didn't last long because unfortunately, I made friends. So now I had two groups of people on Facebook. A living community of college friends who I hung out with physically and who knew me as I presently was, and a legacy community who I couldn't be with physically and who remembered who I used to be. How could I properly speak to both groups of people with the same status update? I mean, hometown Johnny was looking at my Facebook profile remembering the wimpy kid who played Minecraft on his iPad, while college Bobby was remembering the present day wimpy man who played Minecraft on his PC. I was two totally different people, and these were two totally different groups. An audience and a community, both packed into one place and wanting to hear from a person who loved them but was more than either of them would ever be able to fully contextualize. So what could I possibly say that would make sense in this polarized microcosm of my life? Nothing. So that's what I said. I just kind of stopped using Facebook altogether. At this point, I really didn't know how to use Facebook anymore. Facebook was just kind of this annoying thing that I wanted to get rid of, but felt too guilty to. I mean, deleting my Facebook would be a slap to the face to the community that had raised me. They'd raised me, dude. They'd made me who I am. How ungrateful would I appear if I just abandoned them, not only physically, but now virtually? No. A little confusion on my end was not worth losing the people I loved. But as time went on, this guilt I felt turned to resentment, as guilt often does. It was 2020, I was home from college, and the people on my Facebook had now shifted from an audience-community split to two separate audiences. One who knew me as a kid, and one who knew me as a slightly taller kid at college. I was neither of these people anymore, and there was still this problem of trying to accommodate for two separate variations of myself on a single profile. But to make matters worse, I don't know if it was just my confusion, anxiety, and guilt coloring my vision, but the people on Facebook just seemed to make me angry all the time. For instance, I like politics as much as the next guy, which means not at all. So you can imagine my frustration when I log into Facebook hoping to see a cool piece of cheese and instead be greeted by the most disgusting, vile, putrid, anti-science, anti-human rights trash posts made by the most degenerate snowflakes on the internet. And of course I'm talking about the
insert your personal favorite identity label to stereotype and disagree with.
The things people were saying were just cuckoo bananas, dude. And I'm not even necessarily talking about their perspective on politics, religion, social issues, whatever. The crazy part for me was just seeing how nobody ever seemed to be actually listening to each other. They just spew their ideas, lock the door behind them, and watch everybody fight about it outside. And it was heartbreaking and infuriating to see, because I thought I actually liked these people. They'd never spoken with such disdain and absolutism to me before. It was like I didn't even know them anymore. And on the off chance that someone wasn't sharing their spur of of the moment political take and begging people to fight them if they disagreed. People were instead sharing how freaking sweet their lives were, which also made me mad because my life sucks. I didn't even want to look at these people on Facebook anymore, so I wouldn't, but when I wouldn't, I'd think, remember, these are the people who raised you, you owe them. And so I'd go on Facebook and I'd make an unnecessarily long post describing how guilty I felt for not interacting with them, but then I'd see their posts and they'd be horrible trash takes, and I'd get mad and then I'd log off for another several weeks. I thought I loved these people, but now I didn't even want to interact with them at all. These were not the people I signed up to be friends with. Before I share with you what ultimately led me to delete my Facebook account, I want to share with you a quick story. One of my favorite animated series is Over the Garden Wall, and in the show, one of the major plot lines is with a character called the Woodsman. When we're first introduced to him, we're told that his daughter had died a while ago, but after making a deal with a creature called the Beast, the Woodsman was able to keep her soul alive inside a lantern the Beast had given him. Every day, the Woodsman would wander the forest and work tirelessly to ensure the lantern stayed lit so that his daughter's soul remained alive. However, at the end of the series, we learn that it wasn't his daughter's soul that lived within the lantern, but rather the Beast's. And by keeping the lantern lit, all the Woodsman was doing was keeping the Beast alive. Enraged by the Beast's trickery, the Woodsman extinguished the lantern's light, destroyed the Beast, and returned home, where he found his daughter waiting for him. Like the Woodsman, I too was tricked by the Beast. As I mentioned before, leaving for college was a big deal to me, and a big part of that was because I was afraid to leave behind the lives of all the incredible people I'd come to love back home. And in my despair, I'd agreed to social media's deal. I'd keep all my friends with me in this lantern called Facebook, and I'd wander the woods, working tirelessly to ensure that we stayed together forever. But eventually I'd learn that the light that burned inside my lantern was not the lives of my friends. It never was. The moment I left home, I no longer had the same relationship with the people I loved. Instead, I'd unknowingly traded it for a new relationship with social media. When I thought I was entertaining my community, I was really just entertaining social media. When I thought I was jealous of my friends, I was really jealous of social media. When I thought I hated the people I'd once loved, I really just hated social media. The relationships I had with my friends back home, as beautiful as they were, no longer existed. And all this time, I'd been anxious and confused for the sake of social media. In a strange turn of events, by trying to ensure that my relationships with my friends lasted forever, I'd abandoned them in favor of something artificial. Upon realizing this, I knew there was only one way I'd see my daughter again. One way I'd ever have the chance to restore the genuine relationships I'd had with the people I loved. I had to put out the lantern's light, destroy the Beast, and break up with social media. So on October 23rd, 2022, after exactly 12 years of keeping the lantern lit, I deleted my Facebook. And upon returning home, my friends were right there waiting for me. I had been tricked by social media into thinking that things can last forever, but the truth is, most things can't. Life brings change, and with change comes the potential for even greater things. I think the best way to honor your past is not to preserve it, but rather build upon it. Yes, I deleted my Facebook, but I'm not leaving everyone behind. I'm taking everyone with me into everything that I do. And someday, if I bump into old friends along my way to something new, we can celebrate and love each other as we truly are. If you've made it this far and you're thinking, geez Louise, Josh, you just deleted Facebook, it's not that deep, dude, then you're right. It shouldn't be that deep. But the fact that it was so deep for me, I think only highlights how unhealthy my relationship with social media really was. At the end of the day, social media is a tool. And if you have one, then you're a tool too. At the end of the day, social media is a tool, and it can be used for good, and it can be used for bad. If you have a social media account, and you're happy with it, and it bears good fruit for your life, then by all means, keep it. I encourage you to keep it. But if you feel like social media is exhausting, annoying, and it's making you angry, and keeping you from actually connecting with the real people in your life, then maybe it's time to break up. And I know breakups can be hard, but if I've learned anything from my Queen Taylor Swift, it's that the best way to deal with a breakup is with a breakup song. I met you in 2010, we had so many mutual friends. This was the start of something good and new. I would share my silly thoughts, I'd send a book, you'd send a lot of cat memes and funny posts of you. But then things started changing as we both descended down our own timelines. I didn't like your updates, and you just pretended to consider mine. And I know I said I wouldn't, that was right before I started getting sad. But now my brain's like pudding, cause too much of any good thing can be bad. You've always been right there for me, connecting me to all my fears and friends. But this is my final login. Goodbye Facebook, this is the end. I used you to communicate, but now it's just to validate my idea of who you want me to be. I know that I'm the one to blame, I gave into your silly game. My mind is wrecked, it was so quick and easy. Cause now you're full of minion memes and angry folks not having any fun. Fanning virtue politics, fighting a war that won't ever be won. And I know I said I wouldn't, that was right before I started getting sad. But now my brain's like pudding, cause too much of any good thing can be bad. You've always been right there for me, connecting me to all my fears and friends. But this is my final login. Goodbye Facebook, this is the end. Should I say I'm sorry that I never saw the best side of you? I think it's time we say goodbye and stop doing this toxic dance we do. And I know I said I wouldn't, that was right before I started getting sad. I'm so sad. But now my brain's like pudding, cause too much of any good thing can be bad. We're so bad. You've always been right there for me, connecting me to all my fears and friends. But this is my final login, and I really kinda hate it, but I can't back down, leave my account simply deactivated. There's no wimpy turning back now, come on Joshua, just do it, you can finally stop the madness. Just a click and you'll be through it. Aren't you sick of feeling jealous? All this empty mindless scrolling, only liking posts you don't enjoy. It's boring and controlling, you're not leaving your old life behind, your family or your friends. You're just saying goodbye Facebook. Goodbye, goodbye Facebook. Goodbye Facebook, this is the end. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you hated it, make sure to leave a dislike and a nasty comment down below so I know never to make something like this again. Also, I've linked a playlist of bonus features down in the description, so if you'd like to see some behind the scenes or you want to watch me scroll through my old Facebook posts one last time, make sure to check it out. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.